Hello! In this series of tutorials, I'll show you how you can use Water 2D tool to create dynamic 2D water that you can use in your games. In this tutorial, I'll talk about the water creation process and the components of a water object, as well as some of the properties you can customize in the inspector. You can create a new water object by accessing the menu Game Object, 2D Water, Create 2D Water, or by pressing Ctrl W. This is the default water object. As you can see, it has 4 handles that you can use to change the water size. When you create a new water object, all the components that control its behavior are added automatically. As an example, let me bring an object in this scene. This box has a rigid body 2D and a box collider 2D component attached to it. When I play the scene, you can see that the water reacts to this box and the box is floating in the water. Now let's take a look at the components of a water object. A water object has 2 scripts, Water 2D Tool and Water 2D Simulation. The public fields in the first script allow you to customize the visual appearance of the water, while in the second, the behavior of the water at runtime. One of the important features of Water 2D Tool is the dynamic UV recalculation that takes place every time you change the water size. So even if you make the water object quite large, the texture won't be stretched, but tiled. For a better example, let me change the water material. Here the green and yellow rectangles are a single 512 by 512 texture. While I change the water size, you can see that the texture is tiled horizontally and vertically and there is no stretching. Next, let's take a look at some of the properties you can customize in the inspector. As you can see, the public fields in the first script are divided in 2 groups, Visual Properties and Collider. Show Mesh disables the visual representation of the water mesh in the scene view. Vertical tiling disables the ability of the water to tile a texture vertically. As you can see, as soon as the water height becomes too big for the current texture, the texture is stretched. Vertical tiling is useful when you have a small uniform texture without a gradient. Pixels to unit sorting layer and ordering layer have the same functions as in the sprites. Segments to units. This basically tells Water 2D how many vertical quads should fit in 1 unit of Unity space. Currently we have 3 vertical quads in 1 unit of Unity space. You can use the button Center Position to change the transform position of the object to the center of the mesh. That is all for this video. In the next tutorial I'll talk about the buoyant forces. So see you next time and have a good day.